Happy New Year, happy holidays. Hope everybody's good, staying safe, and so 2021 is just a better year in general. But yeah, so I got asked a question on Twitter where someone was basically asking me if I thought who I thought was the strongest out of the three irregulars. We're excluding Phantom Minim because Phantom Minim is an Axis, and SIU did say, I know he's in the story of Tower God in terms of he's been there, but SIU did say that he might not show up again because if you know about the larger Tales user story universe to US, you know like Phantom Minim was like kind of the author, antagonist, not antagonist, protagonist of his own story, kind of making a pit stop here, if you will. I'm not saying he couldn't pop up again, but I'm not gonna count on it. But I think but because of what he is, he's clearly the strongest, the riddle. So we're excluding him, and this question only wanted to keep it at Enryu, Urek, and Jahad. And the reason actually why I decided to this is a good idea for a video is because it is something that I think about often, and I want to give SIU credit for the fact that I think that he's done enough with each character that depending on how you perceive the series moving forward and what is it that you value, you can honestly make a really good case for all three. So let's talk about it. Y'all talking time to tick away. You ain't clocking hours on the day. All that watch is stopping what you claim. Dollar crosses Rio got me name. Hoping God just get me out this game. Last thing real quick, I don't know if you guys are exactly sure about what's been going on with the Webtoon community. We want Webtoon and everything. You know, Dr. Bonehead did what he did to get Webtoons to kind of help us out and stuff. But I'm still going to kind of play it safe. So it's just going it's not gonna be heavily edited right now with like a bunch of panels and stuff because I did get one, so I'm just trying to be safe. That all being said, I want to start by saying that I'm gonna start by spoiling my answer. I don't really have a preference. If basically put it this way, if there was a battle royale or each one was fighting one another, no outcome would shock me. So let's say it was Jahad versus Urek, and Urek won, I'm not surprised. Jahad won, I'm not surprised. Something happens and it's undecided, not surprised. They tie, can you guess my answer? Not surprised. There really isn't an outcome where I'm going to be like, what? What? Like, no, these are all the strongest three irregulars, Phantom Minim excluded, that have done incredible things and achieved all kinds of feats that some of the other ones have not done. Which is why I think he's actually done a great job with balancing them. And at the end of the day, when it comes to the literal tower rankings, you can never forget that it's not solely based off power. It's strength or power, recognition, and influence. So all of those three things are a factor. So there's people who are higher than they probably should be, maybe in terms of overall combat repertoire, but because of something influential they've done in the tower or the fact that they're easily recognized for this, that, and the third, you gotta put respect on them. By the way, clean, right? But yeah, so Urek climbed the tower the fastest, even faster than Jahad. Like, that's a crazy feat. This dude is throwing Shinsu at the speed of light. We've seen him with a 10% non-bloodlusted punch with no Shinsu, and how devastating that attack was. Like, we still have something we can use to kind of scale him a little bit. Then you got Jahad. Now came in with the Great Warriors, King of the Tower, Immortality contract, and he's done so many crazy things. We got to get a taste and snippet of how he was when he was on the hidden floor, and he was an absolute monster. As far as I'm concerned, Bam didn't necessarily win that engagement. Jahad kind of, Data Jahad specifically, kind of let it go. And then when the real one came, and oh boy, like, you know, and we have seen a couple of scenes now with Hidden Grove and Kel Hellam will have Jahad in it, and it's like, bro, the golden needle from Mystery Island coming from all directions. I'm like, bro, he's a demon. And then remember when Bam was looking at Data Jahad on the hidden floor, or as Simi would say, the sword art arc, bro, they were seeing some kind of crazy monster. Like, Jahad is that dude. Greatest hip in the tower. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but some people think that he's kind of hiding from the rest of the tower. The reason why he's kind of locked it off at the 134th floor is because he's not trying to see whatever demons and hostile administrators and such that are higher up, maybe. All right. Now, let's go to Enryu real quick. Enryu, 9,000 bangs, Crimson Shitsu, make it rain, taking out all of Jahad's people on the
in the name of Arlene, what happened on the floor of what became the floor of death, right? The 43rd floor, right? 35th floor. Incredible feat, and he's done something no one else has done again. He's killed an administrator. Like, these things are supposed to be immortal beings as far as we're concerned, and like they're kind of untouchable on these floors in a sense. They kind of control stuff. And if for anybody who's like an in tower habitant, sorry, that's what not on a regular, not from outside the tower, you need the administrator's permission to even use Shinsu. So like these beings are incredibly vital, incredibly important. And Enryu just said, nah, bodied. What the fuck? And sometimes what happens with storytelling like this and stories and narratives like this is you have to unfortunately sometimes a character just becomes vital and more important and kind of gets an arbitrary power boost because they're going to be important in the end game. I think that again, SIU's done a good job of making these three characters so important and integral to the endgame series that you, even just based off future potential and portrayal, you can't count any one of them out because Bam and Urek have a real relationship, and when it gets to the 77th floor and Walt Hike Song, you never know what could happen because Urek was the one telling him not to worry about that. There's a world with stars and the sky out there. You know, you know what happened after the floor of death. He came to help him, right? Jahad is arguably, and most people's eyes, the end game bad guy villain, the last major obstacle we're gonna have to overcome because he's the king of the tower and he's kind of been crazy, a tyrant, or just kind of indifferent to a lot of things that are pretty horrible as happening. But again, tied to Arlene, tied to his dad, V, things of that nature. Therefore, Bad actually has some personal stake in taking him down too. Plus, he's part of F.U.G, and you never know how he's going to reform that group to go after him. So, again, King Jahad, incredibly vital to him. And then Enryu's relationship with Arlene, the fact that the thorns are kind of designed to cut the throat of the king, if you will, and Bam is the one collecting it and whatnot. So then again, Enryu too has important ties to Bam, and you never know how their relationship can go. So at the end of the day, all three characters are extremely powerful in their own right. Have crazy feats that we've seen or are at least documented or in blog posts. Plus, they all are connected to Bam in some way, which means that when it comes towards like the end of the series, they're going to be vital. So you really can't count any of them out. If it's a battle royale and you're like, and I'm a betting man, and you said, who do you think? I think Enryu is stronger than both of them. I do. That's just my personal opinion, personal take. It's complete headcanon. This is not me telling you. It's absolute. Yes, he's ranked higher than them, but like I just said, power, influence, recognition. You can't just go off pure combat when you're reading the rankings. These other two things are important. But again, if somehow Jahad, because Jahad seems to me to kind of have the advantage in the sense that he's kind of backed by the tower, backed by his people, backed by the empire. He's got that military might on his side. Wolhike Sung is an impressive group, but I would say they're outnumbered. Then again, though, if we kind of really see a lot of them top ranking members like Bayek, Ryun and whatnot, we don't know. They could have quality over quantity. So that is a very possible reality. And then Enryu seems to be like the lone wolf type. I don't really think he's affiliated with anybody like that. So that to me makes him very dangerous in that sense, But again, let me know what you guys think about that. Sorry I couldn't really heavily edit this or nothing like that. But listen, I've seen people getting like 17 strikes and things like that. Let me just play this safe for the time being. I do want to continue to make Tower God content and everything like that and Web2 content, but here's the thing. Y'all gotta watch it. Like my last 2 Tower God videos for this channel have severely underperformed, and with SIU not being around right now, I'm getting less and less incentive to keep making these videos. I still have some in stockpile and ready to go, and there's things I want to talk about. I'm still going to do it regardless, but if you kind of want to see it more frequently, you got to put the word out and let people know, and you got to watch, like, all that stuff. But anyways, my answer is Enryu, the Red Tower. And honestly, if you were to like rank them, I kind of feel like Urek is stronger than Jahad. I really do. I think Jahad, again, is kind of backed by all these weapons and the tower and contracts and things like that. I'm not saying it is that's the truth and everything, but that's just kind of how I feel. It's how I see it. But at the end of the day, if you were like, all right, choose one, Enryu is the one that I would choose. Let me know what you guys think. I'm out.
Freshin' in my drugs, yeah. Pour it in my cup, yeah. Sitting in my darkness with my ghouls, we pouring up. I don't really give a fuck, I don't really have a say. Yeah. You tell me that I suck, I tell you get up out my face. You got tears in your eyes, looking like a fool.